the star athlete of the year, but a win right here over Fan Zhendong would make the others believers as well. Fan Zhendong to start this best of 7.
1 love. Love 2.
So Fan Zhendong looked quite fired up yesterday when he played against Xu Xin to knock him out of the tournament. 4-1 victory after all.
Love 3.
The quality of counter loop that Fan Zhendong was bringing in, Timo's going to have the racket up a little bit. We'll see. It's tough. If it's really closed, it means even more pressure and likelihood to catch the edge of the racket. Soft spinny ball off the edge of the table. Timo's first point. Fan Zhendong quite popular throughout China and the world. Timo Boll, arguably the most popular player on the planet. Lest you ask women in China, Zhang Jike.
4-1.
So the spin game and the control game of Timo Boll are going to be big factors out here. Nice start to the point, but Fan Zhendong not phased.
1-5.
Now, one thing that has made Timo so effective against the top Chinese players for the last decade and more, decade and change, is that his strokes are very short and his timing catches the ball early on the rise. Also, such variety in shots. Not so traditional in his technique.
1-5. 1-6.
Deep push effective for Fan Zhendong. Slow start for Timo, but we've seen him come back from down 1-3. We've seen him down 4-10 in Game 7 against Lin Gaoyuan. Oh, burned right back. Timo with the big opening backhand and right down the line. Fan Zhendong just snaps it back. Just hopping around like a boxer out there, keeping his energy up. This takes a lot for Timo to stay in there for all these big shots in the blocking game. Just a step and a half behind the table, maybe 2. Nice counter here, a little bit of change of trajectory. Big spinnier shot coming back from Timo.
Four, 7.
Wow, reverse pendulum short with topspin. To the short side of the table nonetheless. Think about how hard that is to do. Short serves with topspin. Timo, what's going on in that brain? Whatever it is, it's worked several points in a row. 3 if I'm not mistaken. He's right back in it. Second towel break of the game.
7-5.
If this starts sinking in, getting under the skin of Fan Zhendong, he's going to get nervous. He's going to get tense. Just reminds you that anything is possible with Timo Boll. The flip just off the top of the net and out. He's so clever, though. He always has something new, always looking for an answer. This receive doesn't help him out. Wasn't a terrible receive, it's just Fan Zhendong is so strong on the attack. Fan Zhendong quickly recognizes he has to take it quickly over the table. And another one. 5 game points for Fan Zhendong. A little bit of a run for Timo in the middle here. Second serve against game point. Oh, the flip, surprise. Timo just bends that wrist back at the last moment. Tough to tell where he's going to go. So game point saved. Oh, patiently played from Timo, and an even better shot right there. Countered back right behind Timo. Look at this one more time. Heavy spin relatively low, about net height. Fan Zhendong not bothered. Game one, Fan Zhendong takes it. We'll be back for game two right after this.
快搓你防守层，推你中间或者快卸一下，对吧？这种时候你看你看处理还可以，关键就是防守关键你可以换过来有可能。那要拧的话，这样注意点，还是一样，两条直线应该锁得非常好。啊，就注意后面前几板上有速度就可以了啊。
Second game, ball to serve, love all.
So Timoboll now with the serve after dropping the first game 6 points to 11. Has his work cut out.
Love one.
And this is going to be tough. Timo from behind the table by 2 steps. Fan Zhendong's so fast and powerful. While Timo might be wiser and more clever than he was in 2005, he said physically he's not in the same shape, not as fast as he was. Clever idea, but just long.
2 love.
Again, pushed back behind the table. The opening, the big shot opening there was Timo's. Once Fan Zhendong brings out the gunpowder, it's so tough to stop him. For example,
love. Love 4.
Now this is not what Timo wants, clearly. Starting to think about the score hypothetically, if there'd be exhibition points later, how much the crowd would love it, but he backed off almost like it was an exhibition point early on here in game 2.
1
Not
4.
typically a recipe for success, but that underspin serve reverse pendulum is so deceptive. We've seen many players drop it, dump it into the net.
5-1.
That second attack, though, is going to be very difficult for Timo. Just hasn't quite figured out what it's going to take to get in this rally long. So the Chinese supporters here come from far and wide to see their national team players. Fan Zhendong has the country behind him, even all the way out here in Kazakhstan.
5-2.
Timoboll with the receive that we haven't seen before. It was like a backhand chop to receive. There it was, and right into the point. Soft and spinny while Fan Zhendong is away. These are spectacular points. When do you see Fan Zhendong fishing then lobbing? Timo way out wide, and a sky lob doesn't come down.
4-5.
Timo right back in. He's got the crowd behind him as well. But it's not clear again. A lot of Fan Zhendong fans here. The Chinese flag, wherever table tennis is, can be seen.
6-4.
It's tough. Timo picks up some steam again. Starts to make his comeback, but needs to continue. 1-1, I think, would put some pressure on Fan Zhendong. He knows he's dealing with a genius within the sport. a legend who's taken down his teammates. And there was the cheerleader himself. Every group needs someone to start the passion to inspire the others. Both of these players have inspired millions of players around the world.
4-8.
So tough here, 3 in a row for Zhendong. Similar to the last game, Timo has a streak here and then finds himself on the losing side of a few points from Zhendong, and he's back out in front. Zhendong, that is.
Four, 9.
Just a little bit late to get in for that forehand flip. Timo looks like he's sore. He probably is. I mean, he's just playing so much table tennis.
10-4.
6 game points. Zhendong has turned this train around. Not that last one. So much power from behind the table. 11-4. Zhendong takes it with points to spare. Just a beauty to watch Zhendong play right now. So we'll be back. It's 2-0 for Zhendong versus Timo Boll, the match you want to watch. Game 3 coming up after this. So back for game number 3, the fans split.
Third
Got
game.
a lot of Kazakh fans here cheering for Timo Boll. Around the world, Timo is a hero to many. Zhendong, as strong as he is, still has many years, arguably, till his peak. Tough to imagine him improving much.
Love 1.
But you know, that's the beauty of the future. You see things that were unimaginable before. Who would have ever thought that table tennis would get to this level of play, that we'd see such powerful, fast players out here, like Zhendong.
1-all.
Clever idea from Timo. His touch is really good over the table, keeps it short. Misses the opportunity on the 4th ball.
Two, 1. All.
Little rotation on that serve when you can see the label clearly from up here on your TV screen or whatever you're watching on. It means Zhendong is going to have to deal with very little, doesn't have spin coming in. Ahead by 1 point once again. Timo is going to be fighting for every point here. Down 0-3 against world number 2, Zhendong. It's not a place to be. Remember, 16 years between them. Timo Boll 36 years older than 20-year-old Zhendong. Good placement, nice change of pace as well. Not a rocket backhand, but quick enough to get out. And look at that bounce, how low it stays. Extra spin, Timo can generate a lot of spin. Now, one thing that the Chinese national team does quite well is when there's a player who's a serious threat, they can find a practice partner, find people to emulate the game, learn the strokes. Kong Hui eventually, or essentially anyway, playing the same game as Waldner. Big step around commitment there. I was going to say that Timo Boll's game we just haven't seen emulated.
4-3.
You'd have to spend a lifetime learning his strokes. A little bit different, a bit unique. And Timo back up by 2. Good friend of mine
3-5.
came into table tennis watching Timo Boll on YouTube all the time, and his game is sort of similar, but we're not talking about Chinese national team level. Inside out forehand, Zhendong gets so low. I know, right? It's unbelievable. Shaking your head out there like, nah, I didn't just see that. I'm dreaming. How can you hit it that hard and take topspin off it as well? To play some side spin on that ball? The margin for error is just unimaginable. Timo's touch keeps it near the back edge, but the lead disintegrates. This is the first time that I can recall Timo being in the lead by a few points midway through the game, and now tied up. That's the aggression. Bu Yuting looked quite the same. Third ball over the table. He comes in to take advantage.
6-5.
So if you hear the chanting and it sounds like
5-7.
Timo, in this region of the world, the O often sounds a bit like an A, like Kirill Gerasimenko around the world, but here, Gerasimenko. So that's why it might sound like when they're chanting Timo a bit like Tima. Good opportunity here. Not to win the point outright, but still get in with a quality loop. Timo's spin variation can be tough to counter sometimes. I mean, for most people, all the time. For Zhendong, from time to time. Still Timo leading by 1. And he saves it, the grunt for that wide forehand. Timo extending the racket. Do this one more time. Wow.
8-6.
And then fishes it back deep to the backhand corner, sets himself up to cover the table. Oh, that one, that's a shame. After all that work, Timo, you don't want to see the point end this way no matter who wins it. He saves some big shots, and then the fishing, that's just how much pressure there is to keep it deep on the table, because Zhendong will control completely if you let him any closer to the net. Right down the middle, Timo saves it, racket head straight up. Chinese fans watching, feeling some stress right now, but must be excited knowing, I don't know if excited is the perfect term. I'm sure their hearts are beating, knowing that Timo has beaten Ma Long recently, Lin Gaoyuan twice recently. The receive was quite impressive, the fastest shot early on. Zhendong not bothered by it. Gets it right back, plays the middle. Wasn't sure where Timo was going to go with it, was just thinking about him receiving a wide one around the net. And it comes long, it's Timo with 2 game points here. And he's got the serves on his side. That reverse pendulum with underspin got an outright point once before. Reverse pendulum short to the backhand side of the table with light topspin got a point. What's it going to be? I wouldn't be surprised to see a reverse pendulum with some underspin.
Let's
Goes traditional
10,
pendulum,
8.
breaks it up. Light rotation and the follow-up third ball attack from Timo. He takes the game, he's on the board. 1-2 down, but the match is just starting to heat up. Game number 4 coming up right after this.
对吧？他现在发球老发你平了半转不转的时候，或者死转的时候，不想让你拧，对吧？有的时候摆完以后，对吧？过来可以跳上来。他现在，而且你发球以后，他现在老全给你长的了，说你发球长的，给你长的比他多，没关系啊，对吧？就要静下心来，还是要一分半大分就全领先了，对吧？还是要有点自信点嘛。
So here we are, game number 4. Timoboll loses games number 1 and 2, 6 and 4 respectively, and comes back to win game 3 after an 11-4 loss. What a turn of events here. So 21 points so far for Timo and 30 for Zhendong, but it's not about who scores more points, it's about who wins 4 games. Very focused, Zhendong handles the low ball, spinning. Timo can spin it up like that from under the table. A lot of people are going to have trouble countering.
2 left.
Clever idea, but the long push just too long. It's interesting when you think about our place in time right now, watching Timoboll versus Zhendong. These are 2 generations. I don't think anyone likes to think about a time where Timoboll's not playing table tennis. He's looking great right now. Plans to be playing for a long time. But Zhendong, you have to imagine, well, who knows, just based on the amount of years you can play for the Chinese national team versus playing for Germany. We will see. I feel like it's such a privilege to see Timo play. Service warning? Ooh, interesting. Timo handles that very well. Said higher toss. Timo is unbelievably accommodating. They say higher toss, he says okay, comes back with a toss 3 feet from the palm of his hand and earns the third ball to win the point outright. Doesn't seem to hurt his chances.
4-2.
2 serves in a row. Maybe Timoboll just needs a few more service warnings. Didn't seem to help out Zhendong. But not just the privilege of watching Timo, Zhendong as well. The world is wondering, the world is waiting to see if he will crush all previous records. Again, he's only 20 years old.
5-2.
This is the game. Turning point. Timo's been down 1-3 before and come back several times. Quality block, stays on top, accelerates with a bit of topspin.
3-5.
A little bit different than the Chinese, but a similar idea for sure. His tactics, though, tactics are right, the technique. It's just got to be difficult for Zhendong. He doesn't have a practice partner that's like Timo. Oh, edge of the table. Zhendong sneaks it down the line. Mostly top of the table. See the bounce there, kicking off to the side. Whoa! Reaction from Timo again. I'd love to see this point one more time.
6-4.
Thank you very much. We don't get the early part either way. Recovery from Timo to keep it in play, and Zhendong gives one more hard shot back on the run. on top. Now, Jorg Rosskopf knows Timo quite well. And you've got 36-year-old Timo Boll out there on the court. Timeouts are pretty rare. It's understandable that Rosskopf would save them for late in the match. Oh, switch to the right hand, but was extended so wide.
4-8.
See this one more time here. It's too fast, Fan Zhendong. Timo wasn't able to turn back in time. The body language, you hope that's just disappointment, not an injury.
For 9.
The way he's moving out there, though, it does leave some question. Again, Timo Boll from exhibitions in China to T2 to playing the Bundesliga, Champions League, playing the World Tour more actively this year than we've seen in years. Outstanding to counters the backhands. And still he survives 2 in a row. Timo just fearless from off the table. There's one, there's the second, the hooking backhand, and then a hooking forehand the other way sends Fan Zhendong up on 1 foot. Swatting backhand attempt, still a 3-point lead for Xiao Kuaizi. No, again out of reach. Fan Zhendong has been so crafty at that. When Timo's away from the table, he knows he's got to switch hands because there's no chance to get back any other way. Still coming down, complete opposite side of the table. Like a knee-jerk reaction, Fan Zhendong is there with a beautiful answer. 4 game points for Fan Zhendong on the receive.
7-10.
But a burning backhand just smokes past. One game point saved, 3 to go. Another beautiful backhand from Timo. He spins the ball very low to the net. Fan Zhendong cautious. When do you see that? Very rarely. Complete corner of the table. Again, Timo Boll, like a superhero, picks a place on the table. If this were a video game, that's exactly where you would tell your player to hit it. Timo tells his body and it goes. Not a coincidence, hard work. Oh, and it's finished. Fan Zhendong 11-8. After the comeback starts, Fan Zhendong turns it on when necessary. Sits up a little bit, and that little bit of side spin, bending it out of reach, pays off. So a 3-1 lead. We'll see what happens. Game 5 coming up right after this.
他中间这个地方正手一掉完以后，你直接压回反手这样，他抽的还可以，你再压他中间就完了嘛，好吧？啊，坚决点啊，注意速度啊。
Game number 5, and the crowd definitely has an opinion here. We've got about half of the place chanting. Yeah, I'm sure it's not half of the place. The more vocal part of the audience, the Chinese fans. Kazakh fans out here supporting Timo, many of them. A bit more fire out here. Timo springing the step.
Last one.
It's amazing how he can will himself, tired and sore, whatever he is, to just push himself a little bit more, play like it's the last match of his life. I can rest tomorrow, I can rest tonight, but bring it here.
1-all.
Timo there. Not sure exactly what that expression was, but a very impressive shot nonetheless from Zhendong. Recovers the ball when it drops right over the net, almost releases the racket. Timo just never gives up, and it gets him so far.
3-1.
Although a few rallies, timeout here. This is a good timeout call.
Timeout.
And it's sort of as I suspected, the relationship with Roscoff in this situation. I think Rossi's gonna let Timo call the timeouts. Knows himself quite well, has been playing for a long time. And this is a good timeout. It's still a very recoverable score. We've seen Timo come back from greater depths and deficits. Aufgeht's Timo, he says. So one thing you can imagine is Timo behind the table, as strong as he is. The whole reason he's been successful throughout his career, more than almost anyone outside of China against the Chinese, is that he knows how to stay near the table and take the ball early. Yes, he has a fantastic backhand. Can he depend on it from far away from the table? Not consistently, not against Zhendong. Oh man, that's a beauty. How does he even find that?
4-1.
You couldn't program a ball with GPS to hit this part of the table. Look at Zhendong. Wow.
One, 5.
Right out of the timeout, 2 points for Zhendong. Tough way to be. Tough to be in Timo's situation right now. The strength of Zhendong. Now it's interesting, Zhendong has one player throughout his career who's been in front of him and has been stopping him.
1-6.
Timo trying to keep it low, doesn't get the break here. Ma Long is the player I was referring to, of course. And we'll see Ma Long, a new father, beaten by Timo Boll recently, but right now it's looking tough.
6-2.
Not unrecoverable, just tough. Tough hasn't stopped Timo from coming back from down 4-10. So anything is possible. Even things we didn't think were. With Timo, anything is possible.
6-3.
Alrighty, 2 in a row here. Timo coming back. Now the conversation with Rossi, seemed like there might have been some talk about change of pace. Takes some confidence to let Zhendong take the first attack, but if you can get him taking it late, predict where the ball's going. Oh, no prediction there. Soft, and a moment later, it's a snapped backhand.
3-7.
So tough to handle. I really wonder, you know, Zhendong was using a different blade in Sweden. Back edge of the table for Timo.
4-7.
You could hear it, and anytime Timo apologizes. I can't remember any time Timo even made a questionable call. Such a fair sportsman. Zhendong pointing at it immediately as well. Spinny shot down the line. I mean, when you talk about integrity, popularity around the world, but Timo's integrity, his moral compass, is just so admirable. This is a big reason he's so popular, not only with fans, but with professional players. Many players would say Timo Boll is their favorite, their role model, their idol. Calm and collected. A little bit off the top of the net and recovers, no problem. Timo Boll within 1 point. Wang Hao gonna call a timeout? We'll see. Maybe not now, still a few games in the lead. Timo has come back from down 1-3. Remember Shuefei in Czech Republic. Inside out forehand almost sends Zhendong tripping. And the Wince, you don't want to see an injury on either side. Zhendong has pressed himself so hard to get to where he is. And you see the hand on the back. I know fans in China wish him well. Beyond wish him well, love him forever. Right down the middle of the table, Timoboll in the lead. 1-6. If memory serves, it was 1-6. Timo was down. And if that's the case, he has scored 7 out of the last 8 points. Oh, big opportunity here. Timo sets up the point well, surprise serve, and then plays it one more time, surprise location. And the step around just off the top of the net falls into a Thor. Tied back up, Zhendong here with the serves.
9-8.
Good serve, tough break here for Timo. That Chiquita, the banana flick from over the table, doesn't land, and Zhendong in the lead. This time it does. Heavy side on that. This is one bending Chiquita out here. A lot more side than the one before. That is so beautiful. Zhendong is known for his Chiquita, but Timo just pulling out one of the spinniest side spinny ones I've seen. He's got 2 serves here, stands boldly and bravely like a statue, thinking out his plan. Inside out forehand once again. He winces a little bit with pain. Seems like there's something in the leg. But the combinations here, Timo's serve right from the start. He doesn't wait to get into it. He has a very specific plan, and he's got game point. Timo can see the future, and he can definitely see the future of this match. We're going into game number 6. Wins the game, and he's coming into the 6th down 2-3. He can recover, he can recuperate, and he can come back. Let's see what happens. Game 6 right after this.
慢错场，这个时候不是好球，包括要拧的话，就现在有点质量了，好吧？要拧有点，要不然你一轻拧，他现在全是这种脖了，他全是这种就抽你，啊，没关系，他大分都领先了，就正常打就可以，好吧？啊，有点耐心，现在要有点耐心，这种就是啊，没关系啊。
Back for game number 6, Timo methodically cleaning the table. You know, I was thinking about a conversation with Timo recently before our Ask a Pro Anything.
Game, ball to serve.
Said, what are some of your most memorable matches? Some of your favorite matches? He said, well, one of the best I ever played was against Zhendong in Suzhou 2015, even though I lost.
Love 1.
He really just enjoys the game so much right now.
Let love 1.
Right down the middle, the backhand to split the first 2 points. I'm just shaking my head in disbelief. 2 years ago, people were talking about retirement for Timo. Timo has no retirement in mind. None in mind. Not after 2020. Just wants to play as long as he can. And he sure can. Look at this. Zhendong with a spinny, aggressive loop and countered right back like nothing.
1-2.
The touch sets up, rips through. Barely any follow through. Timo, why are your strokes so short? Well, you know, in the fastest sport in the world, you can't afford a long stroke.
2-all.
The exact wording was even more humble than that. Working hard here, Zhendong gets that full stroke from the middle of the table. Perfect placement. Zhendong, unless he hits that inside out down the forehand line, manages to find the middle right there. Another great option. Smart play, Timo, unpredictable patterns. So Timo's knowledge for the game, not only can he predict where his opponent is going to hit it so many times, but because of that, he can also predict where his opponent is expecting the ball. This comes with experience, but very focused play. Timo has always been very focused in his practice, his training. It's one of the best pieces of advice he gave to players a long time ago.
4-3.
Said practice as hard as if it were the championship. Take your practices very seriously, play focused. This one gets away, surprise spin from Zhendong, a bit of top spin on it. There it is, the forehand third ball. The crowd excited to see this go to 7 no matter who wins. A game 7 would be a gift. So wide. Another thing that Timo said is with age, he's become much more specific. Tough ball to play two from, falling back. Zhendong forcing the uncomfortable ball, playing it right into the elbow. That's tough. As far as specificity goes, that ball was just a bit lukewarm right into the forehand from Zhendong. Nothing too awkward to throw him off. Not a lot of side spin. Zhendong up 7-4. Time for Timo to turn on the boosters here. There you go. Opening shot and then a soft block shallow on the table. Really just slowing the ball down. You have to be able to think so clearly to make decisions like this. This is not a coincidence for Timo. See where that ball bounced on the table? Leaves the ball out in front of Zhendong. This is something Timo always said about Waldner, and many have said, how well he used different parts of the table, even just behind the net, changing his depths. Timo's added that to his game for sure. So the timeout here with Wang Hao in the corner for Zhendong. Nice finish there from Wang Hao. I had trouble understanding almost everything he said, just heard a few words. Quite a quick speaker. Nonetheless, though, you can tell what the ultimate message was. He wants to pump up Zhendong. Wants to make sure that he's confident. Rare to see overconfidence. Maybe one player on the Chinese national team, one or two, has that.
6-7.
And Timo with the high arcing, kicking spin shot brings him within 1 point. If he can continue, I don't know. It's got to be tough for Zhendong coming into a game 7 after leading so many times. Oh, a bold serve. Timo Boll does his arm flap. We see that a lot. If someone says you just won Star Athlete of the Year, how do you feel? You see that arm flap of, well, what can I say? Serve was good, the response even better. Oh, fooled on the reverse pendulum. One thing you can count on is Timo Boll will not give up. Inside out forehand, drags the arm behind and plays it as wide as possible.
7-9.
He is so loose out here. Look at this ball. To just brush up on the inside of that. Under pressure here. He's got 2 serves now. What can he make of him? He gave a great serve before, short to the backhand side, and it didn't pay off. Oh, it comes back quickly, and Timo Boll hadn't recovered. So 3 match points for Zhendong to move on to the men's singles final. Finish. Zhendong survives the magic that is Timo Boll. And Xiao Kuaizhe will move on to the men's singles final. What an exhale. What a relief to get through. Vengeance for Ma Long. We will see, is it going to be Dima or is it going to be Lin Gaoyuan in the final with Zhendong? What a match from Zhendong throughout. Both players here deserve so much respect for everything they brought out here. A spectacular match. And last point, Timo had the opportunity after saving some big shots, a respectful high five as always. While the eye contact isn't there, you have to imagine it's tough. Barrier coming down for a moment with the excitement. ITTF's own Johnny Cowan will be coming in for an interview. Stick around before we get on to the last semifinal for the women. You can hear some words from Zhendong, and we'll see if we get to hear from Timo as well. Right there on the court, so stay right here. Interview coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic semi-final winner, Zhendong from China. Zhendong, playing against Timo Boll. He's been playing very well around the world this year. Were you nervous coming into this match?
跟 Timo Boll 比赛，他近1年来表现非常优秀。你在赛前有紧张吗？
确实，波尔是一名老将嘛，然后跟他也打过很多次，确实今天他的状态非常好。对于我来说，今天也是摆低位置去拼他吧，所以最后可能自己在开局，包括前2局去发挥的不错吧，但是可能后面他靠他的经验、这种节奏去让我有一些在场上遇到一些困难吧。
Yes, Timo is playing very well this year. And I had a good performance in the first 2 rounds, and Timo has a lot of experience. Yeah, so finally I win this match.
Yes, you were looking very strong, Zhendong, but he's coming back all the time. What are you thinking when he's coming back at you like that?
你表现得非常好，但是他一直是在反击。然后的话，你对他这样的一个反击状态有怎么样一个看法？
确实跟他打每一次都很艰难吧，然后就在场上也是互相去限制、互相去制约，所以最后其实我们互相都犯了一些错误吧，但可能最后在第6局里面，我关键球几个球可能处理的还不错吧，我觉得。
Actually, it is very tough to play with Tim all the time, and we made some mistakes in the previous few matches. But finally, in the 6th match, I played well.
Very good. Last question then, Zhendong. Who would you like to play in the final? Dmitry Ovtcharov or Lin Guoyan?
我觉得可能在决赛里面，不管对谁吧，我都希望自己能够在决赛里面有好的发挥。
Yeah, I will play well no matter who the opponent is.
Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Fan Zhendong!
Good.